Hello, everybody. We have the absolute pleasure of talking to Isabella Sousa. Hi, Isabella. It is so great to meet you. Thank you for
Hi.
doing this.
Hi. Very nice to be here. Very excited to sit down and talk to another female in the car business.
So, why don't we start by you introducing yourself a little bit? Tell us how long have you been doing car sales and just a little bit about you.
So I've been in the car business for about 8 years now, maybe like a month or two shy of 8 years. I work at BMW Springfield, located in Springfield, New Jersey. I've been at that specific location for a little bit over 7.5 years, and I've only ever worked at technically two dealerships. The first one was very short-lived though, so mainly BMW Springfield.
What were you doing before you got into car sales?
I was working at a big, very well-known bank as a relationship banker. I've always been in sales, pretty much like retail.
So, what prompted the switch and specifically why car sales?
I honestly, I at the time was dating somebody who was in the car business, but not like in sales directly. And I wanted to leave the bank industry. Honestly, it just wasn't for me. Just like the way that sales are pushed, I just don't like a forced environment. So I ended up leaving the banking industry and I was actually getting an oil change. I went to a dealership, I bought a car, and when I went in for my first oil change, I had a really long commute, so it was very shortly after I bought the car and I went in for like my 2,500 mile oil change. And the general manager, shout out to Steve Santone, he asked me like if I wanted to be in the business. He said he liked how I spoke when I went to go buy the car, all that great stuff. And he gave me an opportunity. He asked me if I wanted to work there. And I immediately went for like a drug test, background check, and I was working there maybe like 2, 3 weeks later. So shout out to him for giving me an opportunity.
Do you remember starting out? What was the
Yes.
hardest thing that you had to overcome?
I wouldn't even I would like to say it was facing rejection, but I feel like not really. I think it was mainly of like learning about the cars, which is now why I'm so adamant about like knowing the product and knowing what I'm talking about. I think I really had to get over the fear of saying something that wasn't true because I don't like to deceive people. So definitely learning the product and learning, how to really like walk people through that sort of like purchase, that level of purchase. Obviously, buying cars is one of like the sometimes the biggest, if not the second biggest purchase people make in their life. So between like negotiation and learning the product, I'd probably say that was the biggest hurdle for me.
How did you get over it? How did you become good at it?
Oh, I just forced myself to really learn. Really listened to my mentor. This was a guy that originally my first mentor worked at Sansone Auto. I believe he's actually still there. And he helped me like the training. They made you do like the online training for like 3 months, the first 3 months. I finished it, I think, within like 3 to 4 weeks. So I was on the floor like relatively quick. And then when I went to BMW Springfield, there was a gentleman of the name of Ty Lanos. He was the finance manager. And my first month there, he took me aside and he was like, I'm going to teach you how to not let people waste your time. He was like, I'm going to teach you how to talk to people properly. He was like, I really want you to succeed in this business. I think you can go very far. So he sat down with me for like, I'd probably say like an hour every day for a few days. And he really like taught me how to speak to people and like how to overcome objection because I do work in a high line store and I came from a Mazda store to a BMW store, so the clientele is completely different. So I did have that hurdle in the beginning as well too, and I would definitely give props to those two guys. They helped me tremendously.
What's the best advice they gave you?
So shout out to them. Um, I would probably say it would be the second gentleman at BMW Springfield. He told me basically how to identify if a client is a real buyer with asking like specific questions without, getting too personal. Just like questions that you would know whether or not somebody's a real buyer without wasting too much of your time. Because sometimes, you can waste like hours with a client and then at the end they tell you like, hey, I just filed for bankruptcy. And you're like, oh, thanks. I would have loved to know that 2 hours ago. So he helped me a lot.
How can you tell? How do you, I imagine that by now this is like second nature. You just
Oh my
got it.
goodness, yes. And anytime we hire someone that's new, I always give them the same advice. I'm like, learn how to ask the proper questions when you first meet a customer. Obviously, not when you first meet them within like the first 30 seconds, but like when you're trying to build that rapport within the first like 20 to 30 minutes, you're asking, questions that don't end with a yes or no. Like you ask, like, where's your credit now? Like, have you ever leased a car? Have you ever financed a car? It's basically to eliminate either party wasting time because obviously as a client, they don't want to waste time. Time is everything. And as a salesperson, same thing. If you're wasting time with somebody who's not a potential customer at that time, you could have been sitting down with somebody else to sell a car instead. So you got to be smart about your time.
Is there a story from when you first started that kind of like lights up in your brain, a story that you tell everyone from your first year?
Oh, yes. Okay. So it's funny. And I would say that like a big part of my personality is being funny. So the reason why Ty, the finance manager, came to help me is because I had a client that I spent about like 2.5 hours with. I had just started working at the dealership and I'm trying to see like what I can sell him. He's trying to tell me like money's not an issue, it doesn't matter what the payment is, blah 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 blah. And then when we ran his credit, this gentleman had just came out of prison and like his credit rating was I like he owed money to everybody and everybody. And the funny part was when we were trying to explain to him why we were not able to get him approved, obviously fair lending act, all that great stuff. You have to take somebody's application. You do. So we took his application, trying to see who we can get him approved with, and he even owed like for a mattress. And we were telling him like you're not like this. The reason why we can't approve you, the bank won't approve, is because you owe money to everyone. And he flat out told me, like, yeah, I owe money to the furniture company, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what are they going to come do? Like, take back my mattress. And that story stuck with me forever because I was like, I wasted like 2.5 hours with that man just for literally him to laugh at me and be like, I just wasted your time pretty much. And he knew he wasn't going to get approved and he still sat there. So Ty helped me to be like, listen, let me help you avoid never wasting time with somebody like that again. Like, you should have known within the first half hour if you were going to be able to get him approved had you asked the correct questions. So, very, very grateful for him. He has probably saved me thousands of hours of my life, I would say.
No, that's a very good tip. And that's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I'm gonna remember that forever.
Oh my goodness. Repo a mattress. Like, what?
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest misconception that new saleswomen, people who are just starting out in sales, what is the biggest misconception that they have when they start working that you want to dispel right now?
That it is easier for women. That is something that I do not like that term at all. I would say that it's harder for women. You have to really like know your product knowledge because people like to say like, "Oh, it's easy, you can sell with your looks." And it's like, please get that out of your head because no one is willingly going to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars just because you're cute. Like, please be smarter, know your product, know what you're talking about because being cute is not going to get your bills paid in the car business. Like that's just not how that works.
Okay. I now that we got into like, okay, being a woman in a
Mm-hmm.
dealership, something that we see a lot is women being the only woman in her team, right? The only woman in her store.
That's
Um,
me.
so I want to ask you if there's someone who's listening right now and she's in a male-dominated store,
Mm-hmm.
and she's struggling to adjust to it. She's struggling to be a part of the team, or struggling to get the right support. What would you say to that woman?
I hate to say it's never going to get easier. I think it doesn't get easier. I think you pretty much figure out how to adjust as a woman that comes from there's 13 of us and I'm the only female there. And it's not easy. Like every day there's going to be a struggle. You're competing at the end of the day, you're competing against men. There's testosterone, there's authority, you're at the end of the day, society builds it to women will are beneath men in the workforce, right? Especially in an industry that is really labeled as a male industry. So I the only advice I could really say is it's harsh, but you really have to get over and learn how to stand on your own, which is why I'm a big advocate of knowing what you're talking about because at the end of the day, you could be a man or a woman. People are going to listen to who knows what they're talking about, especially when it comes to cars. I've been in a room where people are asking me and vice versa. Thankfully, my colleagues they respect me because they do see that I make sure that I know what I'm talking about so I can compete technically in their world. So that would be my advice.
What is your best tip to learn more about cars? Before we hear the answer to that really juicy question from our guest, I wanted to tell you how I found her, how she ended up on this video in this interview. I found her on TikTok because she had a strong presence, because she was using the right hashtags, because she knew what she was doing. And that is how your customers find you. That is how you establish your authority in the marketplace. That is how car salespeople make their mark and take control of their careers, by being online. And you need to be on TikTok if you're not already. My name is Ina. I'm the AutoSocialGal, and I'm a social media strategist for car salespeople, for car dealerships, and I have helped hundreds of people with their online presence over the past decade. And now, for the first time ever, I have created a Mastering TikTok for Car Sales course that you can have right now and learn everything I know about how to show up on TikTok, attract your right customers, and also make the experience be right for you. It doesn't have to be silly dances. It doesn't have to be complicated scripts or skits. It can be whatever you want it to be. And in this course, I really put everything that I know so that you can have the kind of presence that is going to make you go from unknown to unforgettable, so that people want to drive 2 hours out of their way to come and buy cars from you. I have you with the list of equipment that you need, with all of the TikTok features. I am going to show you exactly around the app. I'm going to show you how to simplify the analytics process. You don't have to know everything right off the bat to be successful. I'm going to show you how to stand out with your unique personality. I'm going to show you the viral examples so that they inspire you and you know exactly what to post, and so much more. And all of this can be yours right now. And I want to give you a very special $15 off code. The price of the course is going to keep changing. I just put this out there, and the price is going to continue to increase. So don't rest thinking that the price is going to stay the same, and grab this code right here for your $15 off, no matter what the price of the course is. Just code this QR code, take a picture of this QR code, or go to autosocialgal.com/TT for TikTok, get it? And use the code YTGals, that stands for YouTube Gals, so that I know you came from this video and you're coming from here. It's all in that QR code. If you go to autosocialgal.com/TT, it already has the code baked into it, and you can go and grab it right now, because I want to see you on TikTok so that I can go and invite you to be on this YouTube channel, elevate your authority, and inspire others. All right, now let's go back to the interview.
Oh man, listen to the people around you. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Like you might get clowned. People might make fun, oh, like you don't know what that is. It's okay for you not to know, but it's also, I'm a big advocate of learning, continuing your education, whether you're listening to podcasts, you're watching YouTube is a huge, huge tool for people to use when you're new in the industry. You want to get to learn about cars, like play some videos, listen to car reviews, listen to, people that go over cars when they first come out, that they talk about them, go to car shows, like be passionate about the industry that you're in for you to succeed in it. That's the only advice that I could really give is be passionate about it, and you'll be able to learn everything you need to.
I love it. That's amazing. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk
Mhm.
about customers. So, do you have a favorite customer story?
Oh gosh, I really love my clients. I really do. Um, a favorite client story. Oh my goodness. So let's see. Actually, oh my gosh. I don't know if this counts as a favorite client story, but I have two of my favorite clients. They're both one of them is in their like late 70s, the other one is in their early 80s, and I just set them up on a blind date. And they have been dating now for about a month. They've gone on like two, 3 dates. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm living like my true like matchmaker heaven because like I'm guaranteed going to heaven because I did this because they're so cute together. I can't help it. Like they call me about each other. It's so cute. And honestly, I feel like in this industry, there's so many morbid things about the car business, but it's like my favorite thing is really my clients because I've gotten to know so many people that I would never meet outside of the car business. And I'm talking about like the top 1% of really the country. Like I have clients that make well over like $30 million a year. So it's like you meet people that are ultra wealthy and they teach you so many things, and it's like something so small as like to set up two of my clients together. That made me so happy. And it's like they're happy. So although it's not like a client story, I have a lot of stories. I think right now that's my favorite that I set them up.
That is an
Yeah.
amazing. I'm so glad that
Hmm.
you shared that. That is so sweet.
I'm adding it to my resume, matchmaker.
Um, can you tell me what advice you would give if there's some potential clients listening? What advice do you have for them?
My uh, piece of advice that I have for anybody that's, thinking about buying a car or potentially, walking into a dealership, I would definitely say before you go to a dealership, do your research on yourself. And what I mean about that is figure out what you can afford, essentially, or what car brand you want. Because as a salesperson, we already live with the stigma of car salespeople like rip people off, which is such a bad misconception because it's like people on the internet and all around the world, I would say, like they go into these stores and they think like, okay, I want to pay $300, but the person in front of me is telling me the car's 1,500, and it's like the salesperson is telling you because that's the price of the car. It's because in your head you went in there thinking I want to pay 300 to 400, so now that person's ripping you off. No, in reality, you didn't do your research. You want the car, but you want the car to fit your budget. So my biggest piece of advice is figure out what you can afford, figure out what you want and are willing to pay for that fits your budget. And then from there, figure out what car brand you want and then figure out what car fits your budget. Don't try to force a car to fit your budget. Figure out what's going to fit within your budget. It'll alleviate a lot of headaches for you, a lot of time. It'll help you have a great and smooth buying process.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that one. Um, okay, let's talk about social media. You are making
Yes.
quite the splash on social media. So I want to
Yes.
kind of take you back to what made you even start doing like car sales on
Okay.
social.
So I actually opened my Instagram page. If I could scroll back, my very first post was, I think, June. Oh God, my first day. I want to say it was like June between the 21st and the 28th. It was my first day there, or the 24th. I don't know. It
Of
was my
this
first day
year?
there. No, in 2018.
Okay, okay.
That's when I opened my Instagram page. I did it. I signed up for Instagram. Originally, my Instagram name was Isabella from BMW. I signed up for Instagram and I decided like when I sell a car, I'm going to take a picture with a client and post it. And I was like, people see it online. Hopefully I get a customer. I don't know. And I kept going and I kept posting like client pictures and I would take pictures of cars and I would like make videos of cars. And anytime we had an event, I would make a video. And it wasn't up until last year, the most amount of followers up until like last June, the most amount of followers I had was like 600, 700 max. And then my best friend, Felipe, he works at the dealership that I work at now. I got him a job there. He would always tell me about social media. He's like, he calls me Bella. He's like, Bella, you he's like, you have the personality. He's like, dude, stop. They act like I'm a boy at the dealership. He's like, bro, stop posting cars. Like people don't care. He's like, people care about seeing you, your personality. He's like, put yourself out there. He's like, dude, what do you have to lose? And I was like, you know what? You're right. And then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I consider myself to be the funniest person I know. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my comedy and put it on the internet because what do I have to lose? So I made a video that I thought was funny. It was pretty much like, oh, what could I get here for $2.99 a month? And I literally opened the door like you can get out. And it was me just being, funny how I am. And the video got over 1 million views within like 3, 4 days. And I was like, okay, something's going on here. I was like, something's going on here. And I need to, okay. I was like, maybe I should really listen to him. So then after that, every day I would go out and put out a video. And I was like, you know what? Like, I see people really don't want to see the cars. They really want to see people because people relate to people, right? And it's like I could post cars, but not everybody relates to a $150,000 car, but they relate to a person they see on the internet. So that's what I've been doing ever since, and it's been working. And I actually hit 50,000 followers today. So it's like within a year, I really grew 50,000 followers. So super exciting. I definitely did not ever think that my page would be here, but I am beyond ecstatic of how far it's gotten.
Congratulations, that is
Thank
amazing.
you.
So
Thank you.
we
Thank you.
get to
Thank you.
celebrate you here. That is
I know.
incredible.
I wish I had some champagne. I would just
Right?
like open it
Oh,
right
that
now.
is amazing. No, seriously, congratulations. I know
Thank
how
you.
much work that is and how much creativity that it takes. So
Oh my goodness. It's a full-time job,
it
really.
really is. It
Hmm.
really is. And you're doing amazing. You're doing
Thank
incredible.
you. Thank
So what
you.
is your favorite social media hack?
My favorite social media hack is, oh God, I shouldn't say this. Argue back in the comments. I'm sorry. That's my hack. And the only reason I say that is because it gives you engagement. Like as small and like minuscule as that is, it really does give you engagement because then people see like, oh, okay, no, wait, hold on. She's clapping back. Like she's actually funny. So I feel like, listen, it works for me. That's all I can say. And sometimes when I'm done arguing, I just block them. But I think really like talking, it's not even like arguing back, but really like talking back to your followers, like engaging with them, having a conversation with them, and being yourself while you're having a conversation, not very like computerized or like robot talk, I like to call it.
Mhm.
I feel like that's a good hack, honestly. Talk to your followers.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask you, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Oh man.
What do you have to say about each one for car sales?
So Instagram is my go-to. It's where I have the biggest following. I really just got on. I've always had the Facebook page, but I never had anything cross-posting because I'm primarily use Facebook to like to speak to my family. But I just recently started cross-posting on Facebook. Facebook is a little bit hard to I would say to figure out your following because the page is public and there's no like algorithm, I would say. TikTok is hard. Somebody actually duplicated my TikTok and they are terrible when it comes to helping like customer service. I've been trying to get this page taken down. I've had thousands of people report this page and the page just won't get taken down. And they have like, unfortunately, they have like 3 times more follower than me, more following than I do. And they're talking to people. They're like selling my pictures that I post on Instagram. So it's like TikTok is just not for me, unfortunately. I try to do with it what I can, but I don't know. It just like I think it just put like a bad taste in my mouth that they really won't help me. And I'm like, I can give you my license, like I can verify my identity. They won't help me. Instagram is very easy if you can figure out what your not even your niche, if you can figure out what your what you're catering yourself to, like what is it that you want people to see about you. It's
Mhm.
pretty easy though.
Yeah. What is your best Instagram tip specifically?
My best Instagram tip is make sure that you are categorizing your profile properly. And this is based off of me doing like a lot of like research, watching hours of videos on like how you should have your profile labeled. And, if you see one of your videos did well, watch the video numerous times, I would say, and figure out what about that video caught attention and try to duplicate it because that'll continue to get you like more and more views.
Love it. Okay, so I want you to imagine that I just put you up on a stage and there's a stadium full of car saleswomen.
Hmm.
What is your message to them? What do you want to say to them?
Oh man, don't cry. Don't ever cry in front of the men. Please, I beg of you. That's something that I learned very early, and it's sad to say, but when you cry in front of the men you work with or work for, that is unfortunately shown as a side of weakness in the workforce in general, but specifically you being a woman. Please do not cry in front of these men. Please, girl, go cry in your car, go cry in the closet, go cry in the bathroom, but please do not cry in front of upper management. Don't cry in front of men, because that is going to diminish the amount of respect that they will be giving you moving forward. Unfortunately, it's like an unwritten rule. Just please don't cry.
All right. Thank you so much for all of this.
Mhm.
Please tell us where to find you, where to go and follow you, and where to go buy cars from you.
So I am located at BMW Springfield in New Jersey on Route 22. Follow me on every platform. Hopefully, I'll start a YouTube soon. I do have a page, Drive with Isabella. Isabella is Isabella. So Drive with Isabella on every platform.
Thank you so much, Isabella, for doing this. This was amazing. I could have talked to
Thank
you for
you.
another hour just peppering you with questions. So really, thank you so much for everything you do, and congratulations on the 50K
Thank
subscribers.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.